Hey guys, in this video we'll be continuing with the Python video series. Today we'll be going over sets. So a set is a collection of unique values that work like a mathematical set. I think I did sets in math, but I can't remember. Maybe in calculus. I can't remember when I did them. Might have been in pre-calculus too. Looked at them. I remember doing them. I remember the notation. So the notation is pretty much exactly the same. We'll do an example in a sec. So just a little bit more of the description. A set is an object, so it's also an object that stores a collection of data. So it's a data structure. I'm not sure if Python actually has the data structure concept, but it's just an object that stores a collection of data. In the same way as mathematical sets. So here's some important things to know about sets. All the elements in a set must be unique. No two elements can have the same value. So that's the thing. All the elements have to be different than the other elements. No two elements can have the same value. So there's a bit we have to discuss with this because this can get a little confusing. Sets are unordered, which means that the elements in a set are not stored in any particular order. The elements that are stored in a set can be of different data types. So creating a set. To create a set, you have to call the built-in set function. So an example of how you can create an empty set. Now we'll do an example on the screen. So if we just have a def main here. So if we have maybe like data set points to set, so you just call the set function like that. That's it. So after this statement executes, the data set variable will reference an empty set. You can also pass one argument to the set function. The argument that you pass must be an object that contains iterable elements such as a list, a tuple, or a string. So I guess you can't use a dictionary. Maybe you can, maybe not. We have to try it. If I don't remember to try it, you can just test it. So the individual elements of the object that you pass as an argument become elements of the set. So here's an example. So once again, the individual elements of the object that you pass, for example, like characters in a string, become elements of the set. So we could have a set here. So this is what a set really looks like. This is exactly like the dictionary view, I believe. But that's not what they didn't call it a set in Python. They said that it was that they're different things. So let's just say we have different strings in here. Getting a warning for this, I'll just check that out what it is. Okay, so we're just telling that I can replace this with something else, so we'll just leave that. So in this example, we're passing a list as an argument to the set function. After this statement executes, the data set variable references a set containing the elements, whatever we have, AML. you pass a string to an argument to the set function, each individual character in the string becomes a member of the set. So if we change this to just one element in the set, so if we go ZYX, so XYZ backwards, so after this statement executes, the data set variable will reference a set containing the elements ZXY, or whatever the string we have is. Alright, sorry, so yeah, that's fine. So sets cannot contain duplicate elements. So you can't have the same elements across. There is a trick to do this, but we'll look at it in a sec. So sets cannot contain duplicate elements if you pass an argument containing duplicate elements to the set function. So if you pass an argument containing duplicate elements to the set function, only one of the duplicated elements will appear in the set. So let's just say we had two ZYX kind of strings, or we'll do another example here. So if we have like ZZZ or ZZZYX, so the character Z appears multiple times in the string, but it will appear only once in the set. So after this statement executes, the myset variable will reference a set containing the elements ZYX. So let's just print that out if we can. So we'll just put a breakpoint there and click the debug icon just to see if we can get anything. Unless there's a special way to print it out, I don't think it should work. Okay, so shouldn't it have only appeared once? So it looks like it did appear more than once. Actually, you know why? I know why, because we have it in a list, I think. So let's take the list out. So I apologize for this. Now I might have to go back because I might have confused someone. So let's go back to where we had XML or whatever we had first. So we had it in. So we had the set with the list inside. Then we had like, we'll just go with ZYX. So we'll just go back. So in this example, we are passing a list as an argument to the set function. So we've already done this. Basically, we already have this. So now we can print this here. So we'll get, so remember they can print out in any order. So we have X, Y, Z, basically backwards. And you can see that we have the dictionary symbols here, but it's not a dictionary, so don't get confused. So let's see what else we have. So we can take the, so if we take the list out, I think that's where duplicated characters can't be printed. I think I know why. So let's just go for that first. Something wrong with that? Something's wrong with that. Okay, so what is wrong with that? Missing at most one argument. Okay. At most one argument, so let's just go with the, so it's saying it only wants to take one argument. So we'll go with CYX. Print that out. Don't worry, we'll get to multiple elements in a sec. Okay, so after this statement executes, the mySet variable will reference a set containing the string. So this is where we were if you pass an argument containing duplicated elements, not in a list. So if we just go like that, then it should just print out the same ZYX. Okay, there we go. So you guys can see what happened there. The character appears multiple times, which was Z. Appears multiple times in the string, but it will appear only once in the set. So after this statement executes, the mySet variable will reference a set containing the elements. So that those are the elements. So what if you want to create a set in which each element is a string containing more than one character? So for example, how would you create an example containing the elements like 1, 2, 3? So the string 1, 2, and 3 separated by commas. So this is the thing here. So the following code does not accomplish the task as we tried before to separate, to put multiple strings in the set, because you, so the reason why is because you can't pass more than one argument to the set function. You can pass no more than one argument to the set function. As you can see, we tried to do that a minute ago, and that didn't work. So hopefully that answers your question. Why didn't that work? It's because you can't. It only takes one parameter. But I believe a list itself is a parameter. A list, or one of like a tuple or another data structure, counts as one parameter. So you can store one list in there, and that list is just one parameter. But of course, in that list, you can have as many parameters as you want. I think so. Hopefully that makes sense. So again, you can only have one parameter in a set. So we'll just so the following does not accomplish the task either. So we can't just have one string with like this. I mean you can, but it doesn't. I think you can, but you can't. I don't think it's gonna do what we want, because we want this separated into 3 different elements. Technically, it's just one string, and yeah. So again, it only gets the individual elements. So you'll probably get asked this on a test. So you'll see a question like this: is this set valid? Is it not valid? And what is it valid? Is it not valid? And what do you want? Or what are the elements in the set? So the professors will, or your professor will try to, if you're taking a Python test in university or college, you'll like same thing. You'll probably get you'll probably get this question similar to this, almost exact probably. You may be using ABCs or something, maybe numbers, but since it's a string, pretty much anything. But they're gonna, so the answer to this is that basically you can only have one of each element, and remember that the space is an element. So as you can see here, we have x is one element, y is one element, z is one element, and the space is one element, but the rest of the elements were disregarded. So hopefully that makes sense. We could try this with numbers. Let's try this first. I think we should be able to try this. Well, this is still a string. That should work. So we'll just go like that. Oh, whoops, I didn't want more than 1, 2, 3 in here. So 1, 2, 3, so let's just add some more 1s and 2s to the different parts of the set. So this is a set again, so we'll just have 1, 2, 3 and a space. So to accomplish having multiple elements, basically, we can pass a list into the set as we did in the beginning. Whereas in the list we can separate the different indexes with the strings that we want. So let's just try that. So I just have a sip of my water here. It's getting to be a little bit long, so let's just finish up this example and we'll move on to the next example in the next video. So how many more examples do we have? Okay, so we have, yeah, so we'll just finish up with this example. So we can pass a list to the argument or parameter of a set. So we can say data set points to the set function, pass in a list here, like this. We can say we have 3 different, we don't need the quotes, or sorry, we don't need the literal surrounding the set, so we can just have the set and the, so the set with the list. So we can have go with the z, y, x example again. So let's go with this. That should work, so let's print that out. So as you can see, we only got ZYX once because it's still one part of the set. So it still counts as an element, right? So we only have basically ZYX in the set. But we were able to split it up into different indexes basically, so we can count this whole. So as you can see, it didn't separate ZYX like before. It's kind of keeping ZYX as one string. So for example, if we have my set points to set, okay, so the trick here is that we can keep some of the letters the same. So let's just go with the 1, 2, 3 example. So we could have 1, 2, 3. And the thing is, the individual elements are the whole string. So I think in this case we can actually keep duplicated letters like the O. Well, I think we should be able to keep the full O. So we have 1, 2, 3. As you can see, we have the O multiple times. We have T twice, right? E more than once, 3 times. So that's different if we had, for example, data set 2 points to the set function passing in 1, 2, 3. So they are a little bit confusing. You don't see them in a lot of other programming languages. So it's kind of something you probably will have to practice. So as you can see, what happened there, data set points to that. So yeah, so you can't have more than one element in a set. So if we separated these like this, then it wouldn't be able to keep the same, wouldn't be able to keep those letters. You only get one version of the letter. Oops, sorry, we didn't get to print that out, so we'll just print out data set 2. So as you can see, we didn't get the duplicated letters like we did here, so that's the difference between them. They are a bit confusing. You don't see them in other languages too often, so you may have to practice them. Just another concept you basically need to remember, kind of like tuples and stuff like that. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. In the next tutorial we'll be going over getting the number of elements in a set. We'll be continuing to work with sets, finishing them off. So thanks for watching. If you guys want to support the channel, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel for more programming and investing tutorials, and I'll see you guys next time or in the next video. Thanks for watching.